Hey there, welcome back to more Lore and Loot, but before we get started on today's episode, I wanted to give a quick recap of everything that I've been doing between episodes, because when we left off, we were level 1 really poor, and that's because we did nothing but create our character and head straight here, join House Telvanni, and that was it. We didn't do any of the starting stuff that normally you would do when you started playing the game, so we forewent a lot of experience and money and all kinds of stuff. So actually, while I was sick and kind of recovering from that, I went ahead and did a bunch of stuff. So as you can see, I have a lot more money. I am a level 4. This is what I ended up doing. I went back to Sadrith, and from Sadrith, I did all the things that you would normally do when you start the game from scratch. I went ahead and I did Fargoth's Ring quest, I did Death of a Taxman quest, and I went around the Sadrith region, as you can see, all over here, exploring, gathering ingredients, killing things, getting experience points for killing things in the sense of increasing my destruction skill, selling everything at the market, getting money, all kinds of stuff. I also started looting and raiding ancestral tombs. Now, I did that just at the start, just for the money and the stuff that I could get there and the experience from killing things. But I kind of figured it would go okay with my character since he is a high elf and he is in House Telvanni, so raiding ancestral tombs would probably be right up his alley. So that's kind of how I'm justifying it within the world. So what I ended up doing after that is I decided that I was going to walk from Sadrith to Sadrith Mora, and I did. So I started off at Sadrith after I had gotten enough money and stuff like that, experience a little bit. I walked all the way from Sadrith. I took the back road to Balmora. Now, when I got to the Odai River, right here where my arrow is pointing, there is actually an ebony mine, and the ebony mine is deserted. There's only rats in it. What I did is I took multiple trips between Balmora and the mine, taking all the ebony, selling it in Balmora, going back, taking all the ebony that I could, selling it at Balmora, going back. This took a long time, but I made a killing. I made so much money. With that money, I was able to buy a bunch of new spells and a bunch of Restore Magicka potions, as well as some Restore Endurance and Restore Health. From there, I literally walked all the way down to Molag Mar, restocked while I was here, and then took this path all the way back up, through this little gap, out this way, into the plains, out here. From there, I water walked all over these islands. I explored all of this, got to Voss, went all the way back, exploring all these islands, of course killing everything in my way, and raiding as many ancestral tombs as I found. Made it back to Sadrith Mora, got some more gear, sold some stuff, bought some more spells, and then I pretended that my character had heard of a rumor of a very powerful ring that was located in an ancestral tomb all the way in Nisus. I don't think we've been to Nisus before with our other character, but right here in Nisus, if you cross the river, right around here, there's an ancestral tomb called the Phallus Ancestral Tomb. It's right across the river, a little bit east of the southeast of the Siltstrider port. Inside this ancestral tomb, I fought 2 scamps. It wasn't that difficult. And I got this ring. Then Stagmer's ring. Then Stagmer's ring has a constant effect of resist fire, resist frost, and resist shock for 30% on self. You look over here. Here I have the 30% resistance to each, which almost completely negates my weakness to frost, completely negates my resistance to shock, my weakness rather, and doesn't quite give me my resistance to fire back, but it gets close. The only thing it's missing, of course, is the resistance to poison. I don't think we have... Oh, we don't actually have a weakness to poison. Oh, interesting. Anyway, that's kind of nice. And I got a bunch of new spells, as you can see. I got a bunch of new spells. So that's what I was doing between episodes. And the reason I started doing this is because really we weren't ready for a lot of the things that we're going to have to be doing. We just are not. Our character is weak. He is... I upped my destruction by a couple. Alteration. My restoration actually went up quite a bit because I used to heal a lot. But, we got to the point where we're, pretty good. Now, there are 2 more ancestral tombs I actually want to visit. One of them is located up here in one of these islands. And the other one is actually right here. And I did go in it, but I didn't actually grab the stuff from there because at the time I was like, no, this might be something I want to do on camera, or it might be a quest related thing, but it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to this ancestral tomb. Not right now, but I'm going to go get that ring. I think this ring has the same effects as the Stagmer's ring, with the exception of I think it switches one of them to poison resistance. I don't think I'm going to grab that one. It's way out of the way. But this one down here, I think it's called the Mentor's ring. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that one because it increases your intelligence and your willpower by 10 points, and it's constant effect. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Not right now, of course. We're going to be continuing on with our main quest, but next time. But anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to show you guys what I had been doing between episodes. So, back to the show. Hello and welcome to more Lore and Loot. We are here in the Telvanni city of Sadrith Mora, preparing to start our adventures in House Telvanni. Now, a first-time visitor to Sadrith Mora, coming by boat, would first encounter this big building here with this giant round door. This is the Gateway Inn. If we go inside, we'll see the owner, proprietor, and prefect of hospitality, Engaridhel. If we speak with him and ask him about the Gateway Inn, he'll tell us that, technically, non-Telvanni members are not allowed to walk the streets of Sadrith Mora without hospitality papers. Okay, what are these hospitality papers? Alright, so apparently this is a piece of paper that allows you to walk around freely in town. We've walked around freely in town before without these papers, so it's clear to me it's just a con. A way to trick first-time visitors into giving 25 septims for some worthless papers. Regardless, we're technically House Telvanni now, so no, we are not going to buy the papers. Now, he did mention something about work, so let's see what that's about. Turns out there's a ghost haunting in the inn, and the guests are getting unhappy. No one seems to be able to get rid of it because it just comes back no matter how many times it's dealt with. Even Arara Uvalas, Master Neloth's mouth, couldn't get rid of it. If we find a way to get rid of it, though, we're offered an enchanted item as a reward. This starts the quest. Gateway Ghost. Now, we can look around the inn itself, but there's not much worth looking into. The ghost is indeed in the south wing, and, as Engaridhel said, no, you can't get rid of it. If you attack it and destroy it, when you leave the room and come back, it will be back. There's no point in even trying. So why don't we follow our only lead and head to the Telvanni Council chambers and talk with Arara Uvalas about this. If we ask Arara about the haunting, she will tell us she did a thorough inspection and found absolutely no evidence of a true haunting. In other words, this is not a restless spirit or anything like that. No, this is likely the work of a conjuration expert. Now, this hardly narrows down our search. We are, after all, in a city full of powerful wizards. Maybe we should ask someone about conjuration experts. And right outside the council chambers is Deline Arvel. Why don't we ask her? All right. Deline tells us that Master Neloth is not necessarily a conjuration specialist, but she does remember that Uleni Hellerin at the Mages Guild over at Wolverine Hall is. Well, alright, now we're getting somewhere. Perhaps Uleni can tell us a little bit more about this ghost, and maybe she can even help us get rid of it. Wolverine Hall is, of course, the Empire section of Sadrith Mora, located in the southeastern part of the city, and where non-Telvanni would get services. Right inside, where the Imperial cult members are, we can ask Skellion Plebo if he knows anything about a conjuration expert. He will confirm that Uleni Hellerin upstairs teaches conjuration. Okay, we can then head upstairs and speak with this Dunmer woman here in the corner. If we ask her about the gateway haunting, she'll tell us that she doesn't actually care what anyone thinks. So what if she's a conjuration expert? That doesn't prove she is responsible. Right, well, I was hoping she would help us out, and I didn't really think we were accusing her of anything. But it turns out she won't even say anything else about the ghost unless we get her disposition up a little bit. So, let's slip 100 drakes into her coin purse and see if that doesn't get her talking. Well, not only did that get her to open up a little, she downright admits to the whole thing. Apparently, she got in trouble because she did not buy her hospitality papers, and she got caught without them. In order to get revenge, she conjured up a ghost to permanently harass the guests and make Garden Hell miserable. And man, did it work. She'll admit that she doesn't want anyone getting hurt, so she agrees to stop the haunting with one condition. We have to give an Garden Hell some papers called ghost-free papers. Sounds like a deal. Well, I am curious about these papers, so let's read them. By authority of the super extra, very sovereign Council of Mages, without digits, within bowels. Whereas the Gateway Inn and all its dark and secret places have been found to be completely free of spooks, boojums, snarks, spectral goats, revenant toiletries, or cannibal vampire anchovies. Muthsera Mistress Dunmer from Faraway Mage Lady, Lord High Inspector of Hostelry for the town of Sadrith Mora aforesaid, does pronounce the Gateway Inn free and clear of all otherworldly, hostile, and malign entities, with the exception of the profound and displeasing odor that arises from the Prefect of Hospitality, which, despite the preternatural magnitude of its offensiveness, may well derive from altogether more mundane sources. Signed, Muthsera Mistress Dunmer from Faraway Mage Lady, representing the super extra very sovereign Council of Mages without digits, within bowels. Well, this is clearly intended to be a mockery of the hospitality papers, which again seem to be just a con for the town to get a few extra coins. It's not even very clear if the money goes to the town or to House Telvanni, or if Garden Hell keeps the money for himself. Either way, he's not going to be happy when he reads this. When we get back to the inn, we can either tell him who did it, give him the note, or withhold the name of the culprit. Whatever we choose will get our reward, but his disposition will drop if we withhold the name. Yeah, he isn't happy, but that's fine. Not our problem. We get to pick between 3 rings: fighter, thief, or mage. We have found the thief ring before, and it's nice, but the mage ring is the one we'll choosing for obvious reasons. This ends the quest, Gateway Ghost. But before we go, let's take a quick peek at the mage ring. This is a common enchanted ring with the effects Fortify Intelligence 5 points on self and Fortify Willpower 5 points on self for 30 seconds each. Definitely not a shabby little ring, and I think we'll probably be utilizing it quite a bit while we are just starting off our adventures here with House Telvanni. And that will do it for this quest and for this episode. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below. Be sure to leave the video a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you did not. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.